Hello everybody, welcome back to Kannur online class. Hope all are enjoying and even studying. Okay, now let us continue with the next part of control and coordination. In the previous class we have studied about the functions of forebrain, right? Now let us continue with the functions of midbrain. Okay, so I said you forebrain, this part will consist of the forebrain, then comes the midbrain. Now what are the functions of midbrain? It conveys sensory information to the cerebrum. Whatever sensory, the word sensory refers to the messages you get from the stimulus from sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, skin, and the tongue, right? The sense information what you get from these sense organs, it goes to the midbrain and midbrain conveys it to the cerebrum. Okay? Now, you can say, madam, in even the forebrain also sends the messages to the cerebrum. Yes, since our body is so complex that the same function is performed by different cells. So even the sending of sensory messages is also performed by the midbrain. It controls the voluntary actions. Already I have told you children the differentiation between voluntary and involuntary. Let me repeat it once again for you people. Voluntary are those actions which you carry out by your will. Now let us go with the examples. If you want to lift the hand, you lift it, right? If you want to move your neck, you move it. If you want to move from one place to another place, you walk and move. So these actions are in your control, right? Sometimes to tease your friend, you just beat him, right? That is voluntary action. Now the actions which take place by your will are called as voluntary actions. Now what are the involuntary actions? These two words are very, very important while you are studying the functions of brain children. Now voluntary actions are those actions which are carried out by your will, like moving of your hand, rotating of your neck, moving of your legs, right? Writing, reading, talking, these all are by your will. Now the actions which are not under your control. Now for example, ask your heart to stop beating for a moment. Does it stop? No, it does not stop at all, right? It continues to beat. Ask your stomach not to digest the food that you have eaten. Now Panchami laddus and all you might have had. Does it stop digesting it? Ask it for a moment. Does it stop? No, it goes on with its work, right? Ask your lungs not to take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Does it stop? No, it does not stop. So these actions are not in your control, children. So those actions which are not under your control, they are called as involuntary actions. So I hope you have understood the difference between what are voluntary actions and what are involuntary actions. Remember, these two words are very, very important when you are studying the functions of a brain. So midbrain controls the voluntary actions such as movement of your neck. This is the neck, this is the head, right? And trunk. Trunk refers to the waist part, right? Trunk and tree trunk, it refers to the waist part of the body. Okay, so these are the functions of midbrain. Now last, that is the hindbrain, which is behind, right? Smaller in size. Cerebellum, it consists, remember the table I had given. Hindbrain is divided again into three parts. One is cerebrum, medulla oblongata and pons. Now let us study the functions of cerebellum. It controls the posture and balance. Now we are able to stand straight. Now look at a child which is just 9 months or nearly 1 year. It has still not, though it has legs, but it cannot balance its body. It takes time to balance its body, right? But we are able to balance our body because our hindbrain is completely developed and we are able to balance our body. So this balancing of the body and posture, what right posture we are having, that is because of this cerebellum. You might have seen a drunkard person. Can he walk straight on the road, or does he it from here and there? He does not, because the cerebellum part is affected by the alcohol content, right? So he does not have a control on the posture. Normally a person, the cerebellum controls the body. Then it also controls the voluntary actions. So as I said you, so many functions are carried out by oneself, right? Because we are having a complex body structure. So cerebellum also controls walking, talking, running, right? These all actions are controlled by cerebellum. Next is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata controls involuntary actions, right? If a sneeze comes, sneezing, when you get cold, you sneeze, right? That is called as sneezing. You cannot control your sneezing, children, right? It is not, let the sneeze come. Does it come? No. When you feel like automatically it comes. Coughing and swallowing. Swallowing and nungudu, okay? Swallowing also. It is, sometimes saliva comes from your mouth. You are even unaware that every time the saliva is continuously coming and you are swallowing it. Salivation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ saliva in ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, which comes in the mouth, that is called as a salivation. It is continuously salivating, right? But you are not aware of it. Then vomiting, when you feel like vomiting, it just comes out. You cannot stop the vomiting. So these are all controlled by medulla oblongata. Then heartbeat and blood pressure, right? Heartbeat, as I said, can you say stop it? Does it stop? No, it does not stop. It goes on pumping blood to all the parts of the body. Even blood pressure. What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is nothing but the pressure applied by the arteries on the pressure applied by the blood on the walls of arteries is called as a blood pressure, right? Okay. Last is pons. It controls the rate of breathing. Pons controls the rate of breathing. Now normally we breathe at a normal rate, right? But when you are running, right, your rate of breathing increases. This increases in or breathing rate is controlled by this pons. So these are all about the functions of forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Remember children, examination point of view from this previous years, for match the following, previous years I am speaking. For match the following, 4 marks they used to usually give for the functions of brain, or usually 1 or 2 marks they ask for functions of brain. So be very much perfect with the functions of brain. They may ask you what is the function of cerebellum, what is the function of medulla oblongata, or they may give you the function and ask you which organ performs it, or which part of the brain performs it. Okay, and diagram of brain already have told. Diagram of brain is also very, very important. Now next, moving towards coordination between nerves and muscular tissue. Till now we have studied about the reflex arc. Recall it children, reflex arc, reflex action, then brain, okay, then functions of brain. Now this is the end of the topic of human control and coordination. As I've said you, it is not only the brain which is working, it is the coordination between the brain, nervous tissue and muscular tissue or other parts of the body, right? Now in this topic, you will be studying between coordination between nervous and muscular tissue. It is same like the reflex arc children. You touch a stimulus is there, if you touch a hot thing, immediately the message sensory organs receive the message, sensory nerves receive the message, it goes to sensory neuron takes it to spinal cord to brain again sends message to spinal cord, from spinal cord to motor nerve, from motor neuron to effector muscle. The same thing is put forth here, but this shows the coordination between nervous and muscular tissue. There is a bit of difference. If you study it carefully, you will be able to differentiate the difference. So stimulus is nothing but the stimulus can be a prick, it can be sensation of heat, it can be sensation of cold, anything, okay? So the sense organ will receive the stimulus. Now this sense organ, what is that? The nerves which are connected with this sense organ, they carry the message, and those nerves which carry the message of sense are called as sensory neuron. Here the message goes to central nervous system. Remember, central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord, right? So here the information is received. Now let us take, something is pricking you in the leg. Some thorn is pricking, okay? So in the leg it is pricking, right? So when it pricks, the sensor is, who is receiving the message here? The skin, thermoreceptors are receiving the message. So from leg, the sensory neuron carries the message to central nervous system. From spine, it goes to brain. Now what is the brain doing now? It is getting the information. Yeah, something is pricking. So what it does, when it is pricking, what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to lift your leg. So decision is made. Decision is made that let the muscles which are present in the leg lift the muscles. That is contract the muscles. Once it is contract, it lifts the muscles. So response is generated. So the motor neuron carries the message to the muscle organs which are present in the legs, because that is the effector organ, right? Message goes, lift your leg. So the leg is lifted, right? Now, so that lifting message goes through motor neuron, and the muscles act upon it by lifting the neuron. So this concludes your topic on control and coordination in humans. Okay. Now we shall, in the next class, we shall start with control and coordination in plants. Till that, go through the notes whatever are given. Any doubts, please contact me or WhatsApp so that I can clarify your doubts.